So I mentioned how I don't ever want to live around a bunch of white liberals again. And I spent most of my life living in Santa Cruz, California, where there is a lot of white liberals. And I have to tell you, those are some of the most racist people in America. White liberals have tried to silence my voice, have tried to get me fired. White liberals have called me racial slurs multiple times. White liberals think black people are a monolith and are only allowed to act a certain way, vote a certain way. White liberals are working to lower the educational standards for black and brown kids, which is hurting them. White liberals want to have a permanent brown underclass to do all of their hard work, all the jobs they don't want to do. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why I never want to live in a majority white.
You know what I've noticed, and I think it's just been really hard for me to realize, is that it's a huge difference between being black from down south and being black from like the West Coast. I'm from California, and we obviously don't have shit segregated. Like, it ain't white people in one area, black people in another area. I mean, it got its differences because of other reasons, but shit, we all grew up in the same areas. If you was poor, no matter what color you was in the same hoods with us. Like, you went to your neighbor's kids' quinceañeras, like, they went to our block parties, you know, like, we just all was a community because we all was in the same fucked up position. But I see, like, I just commented even on a neighborhood talk video about Honey Boo Boo, you know, just joking, like, you know, that girl always been cool. She invited to the block parties, to the cookouts and everything. And I see how it brings offense to a lot of people, saying that black people ain't gatekeeping no more. We just inviting anybody to our events. But as a community, we've never been hateful people. The black community, we just always helped and welcomed everybody. But again, that could just be from like how I grew up. I just always seen like strong black women and strong black men like in our communities helping everybody no matter what. And I think it's sad to say, but it's really a cultural difference even between black people born down south in the West Coast. And, you know, it's hard to kind of like understand why we have so much like animosity when it just comes to sharing love and giving love to other people, no matter how they do us. But again, I just think because I came from a more liberal state and just people was just different, that I'm not going to always see why the hate is so strong, but I understand it because it is more segregated till this day, more down south, you know, like white people literally live in their own cities, and you drive in the wrong cities, the police going to be like, you know, why you here? So I get that frustration and I understand that and I respect that. But I think it's unfortunate for us to still feel like.
So one thing that gets really hard about being a black person in America is like constantly finding out that people just hate you and you don't know why. Like, you're never really given a reason. You're just like, hey, this person hates black people. Recently, Hulk Hogan died. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. And then, of course, all this stuff comes out about how racist he was. It's like, oh, okay. I remember Dr. Seuss died. And I was like, oh, that sucks. I was a huge Dr. Seuss fan. Dr. Seuss truly, truly inspired me. And then I found out he died, and that really sucked. And this one actually hurt my feelings, but Dr. Seuss was extremely racist. And then you watch Taken, and I like Liam Neeson, and then you see a video of him saying some really racist stuff. You know, then a Republican president gets elected, and you're like, hey, this Republican president is actually really, really racist. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. Well, I hope we get a Democratic president. And then we get a Democratic president, and they're like, oh, well, this guy's also really, really racist. And then, like, growing up as a black person, you live your life wondering, like, why do y'all hate us so much? Like, what did we do? Like, what is it about black people as a whole that you just hate? Like, I don't get it. Like, off the top of my head, I could name 100 different racist things that white people have done to me specifically and to my family. And I don't hate white people. I was involved with this white girl when I was in college and things were great. And then she started crying and telling me that we had to end this thing because if her stepfather found out that she was involved with a black dude, that he would disown her. Like, his hate for black people was so.
So there's a debate about black people from California on this app yet again. And this time they're saying we're mean. Like, damn, can we not win? Can we not win? I'm trying to be nice to you, twin. And it's crazy because I don't think we're mean. I really don't think black people from California are mean. What I think is black people from California, baby, we too busy right now. We too busy to tend to the transplants and they over here, oh, California is so bad. Oh my God. We're like, yeah, no shit. We grew up in this. You know what I'm saying? Gas, $6, milk carton, $7. Parking, you gotta pay everywhere you go. The job's barely paying enough money for you to survive. People out here got 2, 3, 4, 7 jobs. You know what I'm saying? I always say to live in LA, you gotta have OnlyFans, you gotta have a YouTube channel, you gotta have a couple's YouTube channel, you gotta have a TikTok, you gotta have a side hustle, you gotta be in the arts, and you gotta have your 9 to 5. 7 streams of income, baby. And I feel bad, but we don't be having time to like socialize. Like we don't live a slow life. You know what I'm saying? And so to the transplants are people who just, you know, shit, even from California, it looks like black people ain't got no morals, no values, none of that. But no. We got a lot of morals. We got a lot of street code, okay? We got a lot of G code. You feel what I'm saying? But the thing is, like, our ancestors came from Louisiana, from Texas, some to the Caribbean, but not too many. And they came to work. You know what I'm saying? And black people in California, we come up the same way. Now, what I will say is, I have noticed, and this is me personally, when you are of darker skin, there is a whole bunch of motherfucking colorism, okay? I've noticed that since I was young. I remember, fun fact, I was in high school. This girl seen me for the first time on Instagram, outside of Instagram. She said, "Ooh, you dark?" I said, "Damn me if I'm dark. I like being dark. What's wrong with being dark?" And she was like, "Oh, at least you got nice hair." Mind you, this girl was Fijian and black, because it's a lot of mixed people out here, y'all. So California, I will say that, it get a little colorist. And she was from California. But I wouldn't say Californians are mean. Black Californians especially, I would never say we're mean. I think honestly, we some of the most friendly group there is. People were saying also it feels a bit transactional. I do think it's more so.
I'm going to tell you like my grandma told me. It's because we like ourselves. It's because we like ourselves. They cannot do anything to us to take away our joy. They can't do anything to us to take away our confidence. They can't do anything to us that makes us feel like we're not going to make it through. We know we're going to make it through because our ancestors did. Anything that you could do to a group of people have been done to us. And because we know that, because we know our ancestors survived much worse, we know that we can. They sang during the worst of times, so we can sing now. They laughed during that. We can laugh now. We like ourselves. And that's, if other groups of people, if they had to go through what we go through, they would not make it. And they know that. So they don't understand why we do. They don't understand how we can still laugh through all of this pain and turmoil. All the jokes that we made about how every day the world's falling apart, and here we are skating and double dutch and playing spades and line dancing and having a good time. They don't understand how that's happening. You see the farmers out there in Kentucky or Nebraska, wherever, they are having a horrible time, and their suicide rates are 3 times the national average right now because they can't take it. They cannot take what we can take. Not only can we take it, not only can we endure.
They'll come to realize that black people, they're important to the world. They're important to the US people. They used, they assisted the building of the US. They are saying that the black people are monkeys. We know we are monkeys. Yes, that's where we came from. But this young generation that we expect to build the nation, to make the nation to shine, they are the same people who are saying that black are the monkeys. What's the meaning of this? Racism is still going on in the US. As we know, US what's going on. Why don't they come together and say that let's build our nation, let's fight for what belongs to us? But they're still focusing that the black are monkeys. They have racism. Okay, can somebody tell me what's going on in US about the young generation? Because I've seen the young generation in many countries, they are fighting for their rights. It's African Arrow. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment to my channel for more and more episodes about US. Let's take a look at this clip, then we'll come back.
We can also be happy while we're doing it. We can find joy while we're doing it. That's why Black people always will be like, we don't take anything seriously. Or we make a joke out of everything. In every situation, we make a joke because we know how to have joy. We figured out that life is about having fun. And people will look at that and they hate it. They hate it. They say that we're lazy. They say that we are, uneducated and stupid and
I don't mean to say this like to be disrespectful, and maybe some people are gonna think this sounds dumb, but I feel like there's a deeper reason why, people of color and specifically the Black community have been relentlessly persecuted. Like, I mean, just the things that happened during slavery alone, like, were insane. But I don't know, the more I learn about Black history and the ways that, people who literally worked in the government, like the CIA, all these different people in power were trying to ruin the Black community. And it makes me think, dude, I feel like, is there something more going on here than just racism? Because it's like, come on, you're telling me you're doing all of this stuff just because you don't like someone's skin color? I feel like, I have this theory that, like, what if Black people have some type of superpower? Like, what if they have, I don't know, if they're just born with something very valuable that we don't really know about, but maybe, like I said, these rich people and these people in power, maybe they figured it out a long time ago, and maybe that's why they were like, oh, we have to, like, get rid of them, blah blah blah. I don't know, I feel like maybe they have something special that we are not taught about that is linked to them being people of color, And I've seen some Black creators come on here and try to explain how special it is to have
Racism won't stop in US. If they don't come together and unite, I think the racism will continue. And what's going on in US will continue until the US people say that it's now high time to wake up and unite and stop racism. Tell me what's you in the comment section. It's African Arrow. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment to my channel.